Mid-September in the Pacific Northwest, a time when autumn makes its quiet entrance. The air has that crisp, damp feeling, and the weather has been about as cooperative as you'd expect around here. The kids are back in school, pumpkin spice is once again taking over the store shelves, and the trees are starting to show the faintest hint of change. It's that time of year where nature feels like it's in transition, much like life itself. Today, my friend Mark and I are back on the mighty Skagit, following a timeless tradition. Targeting salmon before hunting season draws my attention elsewhere. And with us today is a new companion, my puppy, Artemis. Artemis is a 12-week-old German Shepherd Lab mix, and she's only been with me for a short time. But for such a young pup, she's already shown an incredible spirit. Today's new smells, the damp air, the sound of the river rushing by, it's all an exciting world to her. She's a good dog, eager but with just the right bit of reservation, and for a pup her age, she handles herself impressively well. Nope. The weather isn't doing us any favors today. The mountains that stand watch over this river are cloaked in ominous clouds, their peaks often hidden from view. Mark and I, we've seen it all on this river. Rain, snow, wind, fog, and on rare occasions, a perfect day of sun. But today feels like one of those days where anything could happen. Well, at least that's what I'd like to tell myself.
And the fish will run along this side over here. Right along there. Why do I like fishing the Skagit? I like fishing the Skagit because there's a number of different species of fish to fish for. We've got five of the Pacific salmon are in this river. We've got sockeye, chinook, coho, which is what we're fishing for today. Did I get them all? Oh, chums. We also have chums. So the chums will be coming anytime now. Usually by October, they're in the river. And also we've got rainbow trout, we've got cutthroat trout, bull trout, and you can fish a variety of weight rods, fly rods. I mean, right now I'm fishing a trout rod for trout before we hit it for coho. And I also like the river because of the variety of runs you have. You can dry fly fish, you can nymph, you can streamer fish, you can swing with your spay rods. So you have a variety. I mean, you can load for bear for the Skagit. You can bring every damn rod you want. I even fish a 3-way with dries up higher on the Skagit, but you can do that here too. And you usually get to fish by yourself a lot of times. It's a big river, especially if you're floating, you can get away from people. And it's not too far from my house. It's only about an hour. If I fish the lower river, if you go up higher, it's a little longer, but for me, strategically, it's very well placed.
We cast our lines over and over. The rhythm of the river and the sound of the fly rod become our companions. There's something about these moments on the water with Mark. Old friends, sharing stories and simply enjoying the solitude that fishing brings. Today, we're not just here for the fish, though I'd be lying if I said we weren't hoping for that one perfect catch. Mark and I have been at this for years, and while fish come and go, it's days like these that stick with you. The cold breeze, the sound of the river. It's a reminder that fishing is about more than just the catch. It's the experience, the quiet challenge of nature, and the conversations between casts that make days like this memorable. And Artemis is learning that lesson too, in her own way. She's soaking it all in. The river, the boat, the wind. She's still figuring out what all of this means. But for a pup who's never been out here before, she's adjusting with grace. There's something about these first experiences in the backcountry that leave an imprint, and I'm excited to see how she grows into them.
Well, to be honest, fly fishing for salmon is not one of the easier ways to get salmon. A lot of times they'll fish in water that's either too fast or too deep for flies, so you got to find a spot that's within the range of a fly rod and also is slow enough, because they like to kick back also, not always moving. So that's why you fish these little seams like this, where the fish might just pull over for a while and stop and rest. Plus, there's usually more than one. They school up, and sometimes they get aggravated when something comes through the school, and one of them will decide they want to eat it.
As the day wears on, the weather shifts. The wind begins to whip up through the valley, pushing against our lines, making our fishing that much harder. Art's a good dog. She minds really well, actually. One of the reasons actually why I keep her in the boat more often than not, it's not because of her behavior, it's because of what's around here. There's mountain lions, there's bears, and honestly she's too young to really take care of herself. So although she comes when called and she sticks around, it's best to keep her safe. At least until she gets a little bit bigger. So the smart thing to do with a little pup like that in this kind of environment, just keep them where you know they're safe. And this is where she's safe. She's safe right here. We can keep an eye on her. She can't wander around. She's got some nummies to go chew on. So she's content, and half the time she's just chilling out. Really well behaved for a pup. Yeah, right, Art?
That's right.
Not you.
Oh!
Okay, you're well behaved.
The real dog.
Yeah, you're well behaved too, Mark. Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
All right, I forgot. Sorry. Sorry. You can feel it in the air. That subtle shift. The wind starts to pick up, and you know the weather is about to turn. It's the kind of day where you're not surprised to see a sudden downpour out of nowhere. And yet, despite all that, there's a strange beauty in it. The Pacific Northwest has a way of reminding you that you're just a guest here. No matter how long you've been coming to these rivers, no matter how many days you've spent casting your lines, nature has the final say. Even with the weather turning, there's a sense of satisfaction in days like this. The fish might have eluded us today, but we didn't come out here for an easy win. It's the challenge, the push from nature that makes these trips worthwhile. And as the wind picks up and the rain starts to spit, I feel thankful to be out here, sharing these moments with Mark and Artemis. You can spend hours casting, hoping for that perfect strike, But the real reward is in the waiting, the watching, the sound of the water, the wind through the trees, the conversations that flow as easy as the river itself. It's not about how many fish we catch or how easy the day is. It's about the experience, the camaraderie, and the peace that comes from being in these wild places. These places are truly timeless. Even the weather, unpredictable as it is, adds to the experience. Mark and I have had our fair share of days like this. It's all a part of the tradition. You bundle up, you ride it out, and you see what the day has to bring. And more often than not, it's days like these, where the weather keeps you guessing, that ends up being the most memorable. It shows us we're part of something bigger. Nature, the seasons, the river itself. All of it is constantly changing, and we're just along for the ride.